Is this not sarcastic? Despite being the nation's leading producer of food, many Californians are unable to use the water that comes out of their faucets for cooking or drinking. The state's water supply is getting more tainted as a number of crises worsen due to a malfunctioning water system. Approximately 1 million Californians may experience long-term detrimental health effects. California's present water problems are caused by a wide range of factors. These elements are a result of both organic processes and human behavior. These include the things you want to hear next. In today's video, we would be talking about some major factors contributing to California's water problem. So let's get started. The most fundamental problems with California's water supply are those related to sharing and distributing the resource or delivering the water to the appropriate location at the right time without endangering aquatic life or the environment. Conflicts between conflicting interests over the usage of available commodities are also present in distribution. However, when it comes to controlling groundwater pumping, California has been decades behind other states. Groundwater limitations must be implemented by 2030 according to a new law, but many people are dubious about the procedure and whether too much harm will be done before it takes effect. This is because, for a while, when water allocations from the North State were decreased in reaction to low rain and snowfall, unrestricted groundwater mining took place. Farmers in Southern California have extracted so much groundwater that the San Joaquin Valley is sinking in certain areas. California's groundwater aquifers, which historically provided 60% of the state with water during drought years, have been depleted by decades of water mismanagement. According to a recent research, the Central Valley's groundwater has decreased by roughly 36 million acre-feet since 2003, and the rate of groundwater depletion has been increasing recently. That exceeds Lake Mead's total capacity, which is the largest surface reservoir in the United States. In some areas of the agricultural Central Valley, where water is pumped to irrigate large fields, as well as cities and towns, the ground has been sinking by almost 1 foot a year due to the state's declining groundwater levels. Clay and soil layers are compacting and crumbling as water levels fall. California's farms use more groundwater than is ever recharged, even in rainy years, and rural communities all around the state consistently face shortages. In California, many homes have gone years without access to drinkable water. Many tiny villages in the state's rural agricultural districts are left without access to drinkable water for their homes as megafarms overpump groundwater. The state auditor estimates that around 1 million Californians are currently impacted by deteriorating water supplies. The most affected communities are low-income ones with a predominance of Black and Latino citizens. Furthermore, the rains have not fallen equally across California, despite the fact that many areas have seen relief after years of harsh water restrictions. Much of the Southwest and Northern California have continued to experience moderate dryness. The Colorado River's reservoirs, which have been exhausted by a 2-decade mega-drought in the Southwest that scientists have deemed to be the worst in 200 years, are another source of deep water shortages for towns and agriculture. Nearly half of the 40 million people who depend on the Colorado River for their water supply reside in California, and 7 U.S. states are now negotiating reductions. The climate of California is prone to droughts. The last 20 years have been extremely hot and dry, with the state experiencing its hottest drought on record from 2012 to 2016. Reduced river and reservoir flow during these droughts raised the concentration of contaminants in the water and led to stagnation. Raising water temperatures in lakes and reservoirs cause oxygen levels to drop, endangering fish and other aquatic life that is already delicate, and raising salinity levels. The wildfire season in California typically lasts from late summer to early October. Over the past 20 years, they have become increasingly severe, destructive, and protracted due to a number of factors, such as little precipitation, dry weather, strong winds, and droughts. California was the scene of at least 1/3 of some of the worst wildfires in American history. However, how do wildfires and California's deteriorating water quality relate to each other? Let's talk about it. Burning away the vegetation keeps the soil in place and holds water. Large amounts of ash, silt, nutrients, and pollutants are flushed into streams, rivers, and reservoirs downstream by rainstorms following a major wildfire. In the lack of vegetation, the watershed may become more prone to flooding and erosion. Both naturally occurring and man-made materials have the ability to contaminate recreational waters, affect the quality of drinking water, and perhaps cause hazardous algal blooms. Even in rural areas of the state, wildfires have the potential to contaminate water from city taps. Ash and silt from wildfires can find their way into water supplies during precipitation. Especially the Mokelumne watershed is vulnerable to this. Aqueous film-forming foams are commonly used by firefighters to put out flammable liquid fires. California's drinking water supplies are contaminated annually by a variety of industrial pollutants, also referred to as forever chemicals, have contaminated well water across the state, usually in the vicinity of landfills, airports, and military installations. When people consume contaminated water, these perfluorinated compounds have been related to kidney cancer and other serious health problems. Additional industrial pollutants discovered in California's water supplies include flame retardants from building materials and perchlorate from defense companies. Furthermore, natural soil components such as arsenic and copper can seep into plumbing system and groundwater. There have been reports of arsenic in 4,460 active drinking water sources between 2015 and 2018. Lead primarily enters water systems through household pipes and faucets, altering children's brain development and contributing to learning impairment. Most rural Californians are without choice but to rely on private domestic wells for their drinking water because they are not connected to community water systems. However, scientists claim that because private wells are mainly uncontrolled, there is a much higher chance of pollution. Although domestic wells supply water to less than 4% of Californians, over 40% of the state's 370,000 impacted residents who use tainted drinking water depend on them. Another major factor in California's water crisis is salt. It can be present in fertilizers, animal feces, urban effluent, and soil naturally. On the other hand, excessive groundwater consumption in some coastal regions has led to ocean salt into subterranean basins. Many streams and bays have excessive salt concentration, which raises the cost of treating urban water, reduces farming production, and contaminates nearby water sources. Pollutants seep into streams and other surface waterways during rainstorms, especially during the first flush of California's rainy season. Stormwater and other urban runoff have the potential to contaminate streams of drinking water with debris, oil, sewage, pesticides, fertilizers, and silt. California's more than 50,000 miles of roadways are the state's main source of runoff. The California Department of Transportation is mandated by the State Water Resources Control Board to manage stormwater runoff to the maximum extent practicable. Caltrans therefore keeps an eye on runoff and takes action to stop pollutants from overflowing during downpours, hence reducing erosion and clearing debris. The State Water Board also issues permits to construction sites and industry, requiring them to create strategies to stop runoff. Still, anything that is thrown into the street or strewn on a lawn or garden might get up in rivers, lakes, and streams. The state's water supply issues are more closely linked to water use and distribution than to a scarcity of water, despite the fact that the unusually dry weather has put extra strain on water systems throughout California. Human activity is largely to blame for California's water problems, which are fortunately modifiable by local choices and actions. According to estimates, agriculture in the state uses 80% of the water used by humans on average. More than any other state in the Colorado River Basin, California utilizes over 1/3 of the total flow of the river. Two massive aqueducts carry 16% of California's surface water from streams, rivers, and snowpack from the Colorado River. The California Aqueduct supplies an insignificant amount of water to both Los Angeles and San Diego, running beneath mountains into Riverside County and ultimately into Los Angeles. A significant amount of the country's winter fruits and vegetables are cultivated in Imperial County, one of the most lucrative agricultural areas in the state, thanks to the All-American Canal, which transports water along the Colorado River's tail end close to the Mexican border. There is a historic drought in California right now, which will put even more stress on the state's already troubled water supplies. The State Water Board will be desperately needed to provide funds and remedies for failing water systems as their water quality deteriorates or as their water completely evaporates. If there are any delays, more Californians will be exposed to tainted drinking water. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Thanks for watching.